Hey girls, it's Bridge here, and I'm just quickly jumping in before today's episode to talk to you about today's sponsor, my other little labor of love, PCOS to Wellness. I built PCOS to Wellness because I was just done being told that there was nothing that I could do naturally about my own PCOS. So I went deep on all things hormones, herbal medicine, and fertility, and I created something that I actually wish I'd had from the very beginning. Our 100% organic herbal tea blends are designed specifically for us, for irregular periods, bloating, weight gain, hormonal acne, fatigue, hair loss, stress and fertility struggles, and everything else that comes with PCOS. Our 3 best-selling blends each have their own specific role. Sisterhood for powerful hormone balance and fertility, Chaihood for blood sugar management, energy and reducing inflammation, and Zenhood for sleep and stress support. We have an exclusive code for the PCOS Girls community. Just use code PCOSGirls20 for 20% off at the checkout at PCOStowellness.com. There'll be a link in the show notes too. Now let's get into today's episode.
Hello and welcome to the PCOS Girls podcast. I'm Melissa Christie. I'm here with Bridget Ward. Hey,
Hello. How's it going?
Oh, good. Very good. It's like a beautiful, like cold, autumny day for me here. So I feel all rugged up in my house. It's the best feeling.
Nice and cozy.
I love it. Yes. Today, guys, we are talking all about the brand new name change, PCOS to PMOS.
I mean, it's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
This is a big deal. Like, it's kind of mind-blowing. We sort of jumped on the mic. Like, we need to talk about this and fast because, like, it kind of felt like it happened overnight, but it didn't.
No, it really didn't. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't involved in it at all. But were you one of the people who filled in a survey or anything like that?
No, I'm actually a little bit offended that I wasn't.
It's true.
Hello. Considering there were so many people involved in this.
Actually, it did cross my mind. I was just surprised I wasn't involved in it. I was just like, how did I miss that? But then I think, well, maybe I didn't as well. Like, you know, DMs can be funny things, but so it felt the same for me. It was just like, oh, okay. I remember you bringing up, you were like, they're going to change the name. I was like,
I did know. I did know it was coming, and it sort of, I mean, the whispers had been around for a while that it was coming.
Yes.
But then I did get intel because, actually, for those who don't know, my background is in public health and health promotion. So I am still on a lot of academic journals, and I still get a lot of alerts and public health things. And so I did get a bit of a tip off that the name change was coming, and it was going to be happening. Originally, it was going to be happening this year, but I had this idea that it was going to happen later in the year.
Yeah.
But I was sort of like starting to panic a little bit because I was like, okay, it's coming. Like, it's coming this year. Literally the next week after I told you, it happened.
Yeah.
Which is wild. So,
it really was. And I feel like I've been through multiple stages of, I don't know if I'm going to say grieving, but like I had all sorts of emotions.
All 7 stages of grief.
Because I think it brings up a lot of things for a lot of people. So we want to get into it today. We want to break down why this has happened, what it means for us, for everybody, what the new words in PMOS actually stand for, what they mean.
Yeah, what they mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and why the reaction to this has been not
wild,
just clear cut. There's been a lot of different feelings and a lot of different takes on it.
Yes.
And I can understand all of the takes that I've heard so far.
So can I. It is, and sometimes I feel one way and then I hear someone else's opinion. I'm like, oh yeah, that's so valid. That's so true. And I'm like, wait, that's very conflicting to what I just said. So it's
Me too.
Crazy.
Yes, it is. I reckon we should dive straight into it.
I do want to preface I am a little bit unwell, guys, so if I'm sounding nasally, that is why.
All right, so we have the name change. We have always had it named as PCOS, Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome, and it is now PMOS, which is Polyendocrine Metabolic Ovarian Syndrome. I actually just had to like read it. I was like, wait, am I going to say this right?
Yeah.
Polyendocrine Metabolic Ovarian Syndrome. So I guess in a way we need to reflect just a little bit on the name PCOS and what's changed here, because the O and the S are the same. Yep. Ovarian syndrome has stayed the same. All we've changed is the PC to the PM. So we've gone from polycystic to polyendocrine metabolic. So polycystic is really the thing that's been dropped. And I think we can understand why.
Absolutely.
And we're going to get into it. But this polycystic word is very misleading, because we can have polycystic ovaries and not have PCOS. We can have PCOS and not have polycystic ovaries. And there's even more to it than that. But basically, we have replaced this word polycystic, this problematic word, and replaced it with polyendocrine metabolic. So what the hell does that even mean?
It's a mouthful, isn't it? Like it is a mouthful.
But when you get into what these words mean, it's actually like, okay,
makes sense. Yeah.
Yes. Like
feels good.
Really
feels good.
Yeah. They've done so well, I think. Would not have been easy to rename this condition. So polyendocrine means many hormonal systems. So the reason they've used this word is because when you have PCOS, it's that all of our hormones can be affected across multiple hormonal systems in the body. It isn't just about our reproductive or sex hormones. It can affect our pancreas and the insulin that it makes. It can affect our adrenals and the hormones that they make, like the cortisol, the DHEAS. It can affect our brain and the hormones that our brain makes, like LH and FSH and GnRH. And we know it can affect our ovaries, our AMH, our estrogen, our progesterone, our androgens. But when we had the old name of polycystic ovarian syndrome, the issue is that it just sounded like a reproductive condition. It was like it was limited to that.
I mean, it really did. It did.
Really did.
Yeah.
It was like cycle related and fertility related. Almost.
Yes.
Like that's where it lived. And that just isn't what feels true for a lot of people with PCOS. Like almost all of us, it's going to encompass more than that. And for some people, like there wasn't that much to do with the ovaries for them. So I just love that they're basically saying like PCOS, PMOS.
It's going to be us for the next 3 years.
So can impact our whole body is what it's saying. And that's what I think a lot of us needed it to say, because it just feels so much more true. And it means that for our doctors, they're going to be able to think about our condition in a different way. Like our hormones affect so much. Like they affect our mental health. They affect our skin. Like this is full body.
Full body.
Full body. Yeah. The second word, metabolic, this is also a great addition to the name for PCOS because the metabolic side is so prominent for a lot of us. And it's for a lot of us, it's even like the front runner of what we're dealing with. And, you know, the reproductive stuff is sort of like the second thought. So when we talk about metabolic, we're talking about our metabolism. And our metabolism is how our body converts food into energy, how it actually makes our cells function. So in terms of PCOS, we're thinking about things like insulin resistance. We know that insulin resistance is a big part of the PCOS picture, and that is all about our metabolic health. It's about the health of our cells. Insulin resistance is where our cells, they can't open up to glucose, which is our energy source, because they're resistant to letting insulin in, and they have to let insulin in to let glucose in. And so we have a metabolic condition. If you have insulin resistance, you are dealing with a metabolic issue, and that is now reflected in the name, which means, again, that our doctors are going to be reminded, hey, this is a metabolic condition. So make sure you are attending to the metabolic side of it. We're looking at this.
Yeah. And I think that that's so true. It's almost going to be like a little trigger. Oh, yeah, right. This is a metabolic condition. Right. Let's look at this, because if you just say PCOS, that's not even on your radar.
No, not at all. And that's what's been happening. Like 100%. So many people don't get their insulin levels checked. Like, as in their doctors don't offer it because it's just not on their mind.
Not on their radar.
And it's not just about insulin resistance. Like the metabolism is about how our cells function, and the metabolic side of PCOS opens us up to some more long-term later life risks as well. Things like type 2 diabetes, cholesterol imbalances, cardiovascular disease, and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So these are conditions that can impact us well beyond our fertile years as well. So it's really important that doctors continue to check in with these markers. And so that's why they've added the word metabolic into the name. And I think it was such a clever move.
Oh, it's so clever.
Yeah. We've got the word ovarian, which is remaining, but I think it's it feels different now, because when it's polycystic ovarian syndrome, it's like, okay, this is all to do with the reproductive system. It's all to do with the ovaries.
Yeah, it's only to do with the ovaries. Yes. That's all you think. You just go, it's ovaries. That is it.
Exactly. But now it's more just, now that it's in there with polyendocrine and with metabolic, it's just showing, oh, this is also part of the picture. It's sort of more... And it is a great catch-all, because it encompasses that issue where some of us can have many follicles on the ovary.
True.
You know, polycystic was not the right word. It could have been polyfollicular. Like these are follicles on the ovaries, not cysts.
Not cysts, yeah.
So by saying ovarian in the name, we're still capturing that is something that we can face, but it also captures some of the symptoms we face, like our long cycles and about, difficulties falling pregnant. So I do think it's a great catch-all, and I'm glad they left it there. And then we've just also got the word syndrome, which really, it's a collection. It means that it's a collection of symptoms and signs and characteristics. However, it means that everyone can be different. It's not that we all look the same and we all have the same signs and symptoms. So by leaving that word in there, it's really pointing out, hey, everyone's different when they've got this
can be
condition.
Varying.
It's very varying. And so I'm like, I feel like they've chosen.
It works. Honestly, it does work. Congratulations. It's very annoying that you've ruined our entire brand, but that's look, it is really good. And I think that, overall the name, I think they were really clever in how they've done it. I think it really does reflect where they want this to head and how they want this to be viewed as well. And also amazing that they basically kept, like, they've changed out one letter in that acronym realistically. Yeah. So for all intents and purposes, it still works, in terms of saying PMOS. We're saying, instead of saying PC, oh my God, I'm getting my
it's already happening.
PCOS. And also, are we saying PMOS or are we saying PMOS?
I don't know. I've heard people say both, and I don't know.
Gosh.
Like, PCOS, PMOS is what I was inclined to say, because I always said PCOS.
Yeah.
But the PMOS girls kind of rings a little more than
PMOS
girls.
Hilarious. We'll workshop this.
We'll get there over the next 3 years.
Yeah. So, I feel like you broke down the PMOS really well. Yeah. What actually was announced? Let's talk about that, because obviously May 12th this year, 2026 is when it got announced and it was officially changed. It was announced at the European Congress of Endocrinology in Prague, which is one of the biggest endocrinology conferences in the world, which is huge. And at the same time, it was published in The Lancet. Are you familiar with The Lancet, Mel?
Yeah, that's where I was reading all about it.
Yes, exactly. So it's one of the most trusted and prestigious medical journals in the world. So it is kind of as official as it gets. So we kind of knew that when it was published there, this was happening. It was
it's real.
Not just a proposal, like it's done and it's happening. Yeah. And I think that that's where people have got a bit confused, because over the last few years we've heard about this, there's this idea, should we change the name? Like, what we change it to, blah, blah. Well, it's done. It just happened. Yeah. They did it.
Yes.
Which is amazing. Yeah. And what it's going to, I guess, signal is this complete shift in how the medical world is going to understand and characterize what this condition is, which is huge. Like, this is going to change everything. And I think that's wild, because it's no longer being, as you said, like, treated purely as reproductive and gynecological condition. We're now recognizing it as super complex, multi-system condition that's going to affect the whole body. And that's huge. And the scale of this is massive. Like, we know that this affects over 170 million people worldwide. Like, that is enormous.
Yeah.
It's really enormous.
It's so enormous. And we're going to get in a bit later to, like, how this process happened of the name changing. And it's like, wow. It's no joke.
It's genuinely one of, if not the biggest shift in a women's health in history. Like, this is huge.
Yeah.
And like, it feels huge for us because we're in it, but this is huge for everyone. Like, this is a really big deal that this has happened and that this has even occurred. Because this doesn't happen. We don't often just change the name of something.
Yeah, and to change it in a way that was so like embracing of the community, and like it really, I mean, we'll get into it, but there was so much consideration for it. Was patient-led.
It was, this is massive. Like we had over 56 academic, clinical and patient organizations part of this. Like what the hell? Crazy. This is wild. Where were we, Mel? I don't know.
Where were we? Someone's going to send us an angry DM after this. They're going to be like, we were in your DMs.
Yeah, asking you, please participate. You know, I actually am like recalling, definitely receiving things, being like, can you like come and and I'm like, no, sorry, very busy. But anyway, look, I think
they didn't need us.
They didn't need us. They did
not need us.
Gosh, I think it's probably a blessing in disguise, to be honest. Oh God.
Yeah, with my indecisiveness, I would have held the whole process.
Oh my God, can you imagine us? I'm like, but it's gonna, you know, roll off the tongue. It's all off the tongue. Wild. Anyway, let's talk about why the old name was a bit of a problem, because I think maybe people are like, why did we change it? Well, we've sort of talked about it, but I guess as we can deep dive this a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a few things at play, but like one of the biggest things is that polycystic was just it was the incorrect term to use. It
so
implied
wrong,
that we have many cysts on our ovaries when we don't. People might have cysts on their ovaries, but that's not the related or like the symptom of PCOS that is so noted. Yeah. It's follicles that are on the ovary. It's eggs that have gone to be ovulated and didn't quite get there, and they peter out and they end up sort of just fizzling away in the ovary, and it creates this look of what is actually like many follicles on the ovary. So it was just the wrong term.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah. And it's just basically confused people for decades. Like it's just confusing. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
So it's hard.
Yeah, well, people could have polycystic ovaries. This was the other thing.
Yes.
Is that people could have what they were saying is polycystic ovaries, actually polyfollicular, and not have PCOS. And then people could have PCOS but not have cysts or follicles on their ovaries. So it was just, like I have met multiple people who were, like many people who were like, I don't understand. They say I've got the polycystic ovaries. I don't think I have like people did not know what was what.
Yeah,
and that's so limiting. It's so 100%. Limiting. And it's so like keeping you in caring about the cysts.
Yeah.
Like the funny thing is that the polycystic nature of PCOS, or the many follicles on the ovary, they're not something to like deal with. Like they're a symptom of just a long cycle. That's all. If 100%. You have an irregular cycle, you struggle to ovulate, then that's why you have those. They're not even a symptom that should really be on the mind.
An issue. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's I have crazy. All these cysts and I've got to get rid of them. No. Like you have a regular cycle, you need to regulate your cycle.
Yes. So that's not the biggest issue. Yeah, I know. I think that, and I think that really where I think was the biggest thing as well is that it essentially caused so many women to be dismissed and not seen. But on the flip side, we had this overdiagnosis as well, which probably wasn't true PCOS because they just had polycystic ovaries. So it's really confusing. And I think that's why we always said, you know, PCOS is one of the most overdiagnosed and underdiagnosed syndromes out there because of this issue that was going on. So for me, that was probably the biggest thing.
Yeah. And then I think it's just like what we were talking about before. It's just that the name didn't change how all-encompassing full body PCOS is. You know, it can affect every, maybe not every, but it can affect many systems in the body. And the old name, it just didn't reflect it. It didn't at all. The new one does. And I'm loving that about it. Hi guys, it's Mel here. Since today's episode is all about managing PCOS on a budget, if you're trying to conceive or you're planning to conceive, I thought I'd better tell you that I have a really affordable little mini course for you. I don't know if you've heard people talk about PCOS and getting pregnant with PCOS as being something where you've kind of got to get all the puzzle pieces into the right place. I kind of subscribe to that, but I kind of don't, because what I've discovered over the years is that some puzzle pieces are bigger and more impactful than others. And what I've found is that if we can get those key sort of big pieces into place, We actually cover so much ground, and often that's all that's needed to improve things and get pregnant. So I've made a course for it. It's called PCOS Fertility Essentials, and it covers the 7 essential steps or 7 essential puzzle pieces that we really need to address when we're trying to get pregnant. And if we do that, we cover so much ground and we're just in such a good position for getting pregnant. It's only $17 and you can complete it in just a couple of hours. I'm going to leave the link in the show notes, so if you're trying to get pregnant or you're planning to get pregnant in the future, definitely check it out. I was pretty keen to like talk a bit more about this, like the process of how they named this. Like,
I mean, it's crazy.
Right?
It's such a big process.
It was a huge process.
It took 11 years from start to finish.
Oh my God.
11 years. So it started back in
insane.
2015, which I just think is mind-blowing because I didn't even know about this going on. Like, it's wild to me that this has been going on for so long.
Yeah.
And yet it kind of just felt like overnight we had this name change when 11 years. So 2015 was when they started doing their first international surveys and just gathering opinions, mostly from patients, but also health professionals. But a lot of it was patient-led, which is crazy. They then did further surveys across 2017, 2023, and then again last year, so 2025.
Wow.
I know. Where were we again? No one asked us. But what I love about this is it just shows that they were really serious about getting it right. They did not just do one survey with a bunch of doctors and go, yep, that sounds good. They took their time. And the thing I love the most, I'm very proud about this, is it was led by Professor Helena Teed, not quite sure. I'm going to go with Teed at Monash University in Melbourne, Australia. Melbourne girls.
Just up the road. Just up the road.
Like, how wild is that?
It's crazy. And like you say, like they've really thoroughly gone to the community about this, and it's set a precedent. It's the first time that this has been done in the medical world, that where such a huge widespread survey of people was considered for a name change. And so it's actually set a precedent for moving forward. So it feels pretty exciting.
It's so exciting. And like, thank you, Professor Helena Teed. You're incredible. Like,
incredible.
How, like, she's just amazing. And she spent most of her career advocating for a better understanding of PCOS, now PMOS. So thank you. And the scale of this is huge. We had over 22,000 people across the world having a say on this.
Oh my God.
22,000.
I'm so glad you had that stat, because I was just like, I got to Google the stat.
Oh,
that's
wild,
crazy.
Right? So we had, obviously, patients was a huge part of it, really, which is, again, quite rare to have a super patient-led thing happen like this.
Awesome.
We had doctors, we had researchers, we had charities, and we had advocacy groups.
So cool.
What a well-rounded mix of people in there. Like, feels so good.
And you know what? I follow heaps of PCOS accounts, and I have accounts that I've followed since maybe not 2015, but like 2017 maybe.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've got all my faves, and I've got ones that I really trust, and just I can see that so many of them were involved in this.
Yeah, which is so amazing.
And they're all backing it, and I'm just like, it also just makes it feel like, they went to the right people and
did what they needed to do.
Yeah, it feels very cared for.
It does.
They really respected the process and respected the community, I think. So,
and from all accounts that I can see, and I'm pretty sure it's fact, is that this is genuinely being described as one of the most thorough and extensive disease renaming processes in medical history. Like, it is. There's honestly nothing that's ever been at this level of consultation.
Wow. How cool.
Like, that makes me feel good.
It does. It's like, no matter how you feel about the name change, I think we can all agree that feels pretty special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to know kind of like how the support went, like in terms of what people thought about it when they were doing the surveys? I think this is quite interesting.
Yes.
86% of patients supported the name change. 86%.
Wow.
That's huge. On a survey like that, that's really big.
Yeah.
What I also found quite interesting was we had 71% of clinicians supporting it too.
Wow.
which is still really high. I thought it would be lower, to be honest.
Yeah.
And the reason they went with the name is because the preferred terms that just kept coming up across all the research and all the patients, and everything that kept talking about was ovarian. They still wanted it in there, metabolic, and polyendocrine, obviously, which is how we've ended up with this final name. And we've had 56 organizations across the world making this happen, from academic to patient advocacy groups. So
wow,
it's massive. The scope of this was huge.
It really was. And I'm actually just reading a thing here about like one of the reasons why they were getting rid of the word polycystic is because they found from a paper that they did that there was real psychological harm from the term polycystic. Because,
I believe that.
Yes, because it's kind of what we were saying before. Like it sent people
it's like
on the wrong track.
Yeah.
And it would cause anxiety because it says thousands of patients reported feeling like their ovaries were ticking time bombs filled with physical tumors that might rupture or require surgery, when none of that is accurate at all.
Do you know, you've just triggered something inside me, because I remember when I got diagnosed with PCOS and I really didn't know anything about it, and I immediately thought I had tumors in my ovaries.
Right.
That's where my brain went immediately. Like really dark thoughts, and didn't even honestly think much about the rest of it. I just thought, oh, this is bad. Like I have lumps.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's exactly it. And we don't have to, I'm happy for all that. Like imagine, being one of the new people being diagnosed. Like I wonder if they even, I guess they'll still get told it's also known as PCOS, surely. They need to have
it's going to be, I think, so obviously we'll talk about this a bit further on, but it's going to be a slow rollout of this as well. So it will be a gradual name change, with looking at around 3 years for that.
Yeah, true. I thought I'd have a chat about what this means for diagnosis and treatment. And I found this quite interesting. So in terms of diagnosis, actually, there's nothing really in the works to change there. And I kind of thought it would. And I mean, we're going to get into it more, but this is a 3-year process, and it is leading to a bit of a new release of the guidelines. And I do wonder, okay, what are we going to find? I feel like the next 3 years, like a lot might change, because I know that there is people in the community who have got opinions about how it's diagnosed and how it could be diagnosed better and differently. So I thought maybe there'd be something about that. There wasn't. But it did point out something to me that I hadn't realized that's already in effect. With the diagnosis of PCOS, we know you need to have 2 of the 3 criteria. So elevated androgens, or irregular cycles, or polycystic ovaries. But what I discovered is that now they're actually saying you don't necessarily need the ultrasound for polycystic ovaries. Instead, you can get a blood test for AMH, because when you have polycystic ovaries, lots of follicles on the ovary, it causes our AMH to be higher. So, and this is in the guidelines actually, and I didn't realize, but this new announcement is just reiterating that continues to be the approach. So I just thought I'd point that out in case not everybody realized that was an option. And then treatment. So what I found the most exciting about this is that the whole PMOS name change has a 3-year rollout, but as part of that 3-year rollout, they're doing a multi-continent, so across the world, education campaign, and they're targeting family doctors and general practitioners. So the doctors we are going in to see in everyday life. And what they're training them to do is to ensure that they stop treating the condition as a localized fertility issue and immediately begin to recognize that it's a lifelong hormonal and metabolic condition that requires ongoing support across multiple systems of the body. How good.
Love that.
How good is that? And so, I mean, that's going to roll out, but it has already begun, apparently.
Oh, amazing.
I know. And I think the thing that's going to be the biggest shift with treatment, I mean, certainly when we're looking at like Western medicine treatment, is that protocols that are already recommended in the guidelines are now mandated. So the new name change is saying that it's actually mandatory now that doctors test our metabolic health. So routine testing of fasting insulin and glucose tolerance and our lipid panels, our cholesterol, our liver. These are things that now are required to be tested ongoing, which is such a win.
That feels really good. And I think
so
that was such a big part of it as well. As so many women were sort of going around being like, I have all these symptoms. Like I know something's going on. I just want to know what's happening. But getting those testing, like getting the test done, going to that next level felt like pushing shit uphill, if I'm allowed to swear. Like it was for so many of us, and this was my experience, it's just like no one wanted to go to that next level to actually like do the test, see what was going on, do that further investigation.
That's right.
And this feels kind of amazing because it's basically mandating it, saying, well, we're here, we have to go down this path.
That's right.
It's really pushing you to do it, which is amazing.
Yes, I agree. They also are now mandated to do direct screenings for highly correlated mental health conditions like anxiety, depression, and eating disorders as well.
Oh, wow.
That's really cool. Isn't it cool?
Yeah.
And then also they're mandated to look into our sleep as well because many people with PCOS suffer from sleep apnea.
This is making me like, I feel very emotional about this. Like I'm actually getting a little bit teary because I just feel so, like this is so validating for so many people.
It is. You're so right. Yes.
Oh, I really don't know why I just got emotional. That was crazy.
You did.
I know. Just like a bit overwhelming.
Well, I think it's because I don't know if you agree with this, but I think a huge part of what we do is helping people to advocate for themselves, to get testing done, to go back, find a new doctor. And it's exhausting for them. And like we encourage and we encourage ourselves. Like we have become advocates for ourselves. And it's like, it's a bit of a battle. And we're trying to help other people to fight that battle as well. And so when you actually have a step in the right direction, it's going to be like, this battle's going to be a bit easier now.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It feels like the battle is going to be less, just this it's not going to feel so hard. It's not this pushback. And that really makes me happy for everyone coming, maybe as well, like I have a daughter, maybe I'm just like, not that I would ever wish any of this upon her, but maybe it will just make it easier for the next generation sort of coming through. And I feel that deeply in my bones.
No, I do. I get it. And I think, reading this, there's other things I'd love to read. I'd love to read that they're testing like more, they're mandating the testing of our hormones regularly. I would have loved to have read that on there and I didn't. But this is a step in the right direction. And
step in the right direction.
And I just have this feeling the next 3 years that I feel like treatment and maybe diagnosis are going to get better. I feel like that because so much attention is being put to this now, working towards 2028 when the guidelines will be updated. And I get this feeling they're going to be updated significantly, but I could be wrong. That's my hope. I guess that's my hope.
Yeah, no, for sure. Up until this point, we've talked about it pretty positively. Like I feel like from my end, everything feels like it sounds amazing, right? Sounds all positive. However, there has been a little bit of criticism. There have been a few things coming up, and I absolutely think it's all valid. I think one of the biggest kind of criticisms is actually going to be what they're calling a bit of a brand recognition issue in terms of the fact that PCOS as a name has decades of awareness behind it now. We have support communities, we have social media, we've got research funding, charity names, podcasts. Hi. But they've all been built around that acronym. And shifting everything overnight isn't going to be that simple. Like there is a genuine risk actually that what could happen now is there will be a dip in the short term in terms of people getting confused about whether PCOS and PMOS are the same thing, whether they're different things, whether I think I'm hearing a bit about PMOS sounding like PMS. There's just, there's a few little things there. Obviously, this is not, I think as a whole, we can look at this quite positively, but there are going to be these little criticisms and there are going to be some setbacks. I think another big one I'm hearing is like, okay, great. We've got this incredible name change. What now? Okay, awesome.
Is that going to be the end of it?
Is that all you've done? Like, let's do a name change, but is that actually going to change anything? And I think we feel positive that it is, I think we feel like this has brought shone a light over here and it's kind of now you can't look away. But it is going to be up to those people that have the power to actually make those changes. So we can only hope.
That's right. And I feel like we're feeling positive because we have just read about this a lot to prepare for this episode in particular. And so reading that, it's like, okay, there's definitely, it isn't just a name change. There is a rollout. When you hear 3 years, it's like, oh God, but actually 3 years will fly. And it's an active 3 years. Like the training of medical professionals is already underway. So I do feel positive about it. But at the same time, I agree that this is maybe made for a bit of a wonky time with all the traction that's been made with people understanding PCOS. And I think it's very valid for anyone to feel that way, because we're all doing the work. Like anybody who's ever had a conversation with a friend or a family member saying, I have PCOS, and having to explain what that means.
Yeah.
Like we've all put in the work to get the word out there. And so it's really valid, I think, if anyone's feeling a bit like, ugh, about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think all of it's true. You know, it's like multiple things can be true at once. And I think this is one of those things.
100%. And I think with change, there always is that feeling of, with change comes insecurity a little bit, you know, and that is a given across everything. And it doesn't mean that change is bad. It doesn't mean that change is good. I am hoping it is good, but I think at this point it's a change, and we just all have to kind of get used to that.
Yeah, that's right. And like you say, like the actual name change, I think has brought so much attention to all of it. It's like I had like male friends sending me articles about it. I had other friends sending me like people. I think a lot of people really note, like this was really in the news. I saw it in all of my favorite news platforms.
Absolutely.
Like it really made the news, and I feel like that might like hold a lot of weight, even like that might have boosted our awareness enough to counterbalance the confusion or something.
100%. Like I feel like it hit the zeitgeist so strongly that people who had never even heard about PCOS now knew about PMOS.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, like this is definitely getting out to people that it has never got out to before. So that is a huge step, and let's just hope that it continues in this direction and we can continue that momentum behind it, because that's what's going to keep everything moving and the positive changes happening.
I agree. And I think for us, it's like, you know, I don't feel like there's any pressure just, you know, in terms of our brands and everything. That crosses our mind, like as people in this space who have businesses named after PCOS. It's like,
lol.
Well, okay, what do we do?
I know. Well, honestly, that like, this sounds ridiculous, but the moment I heard about the name change, I thought, oh my gosh, what do I do? Like we've got these podcasts. I have another whole brand that's called PCOS to Wellness. Like what am I doing? Am I changing? Do we change everything? Yeah. What I do feel, and like what is happening next in terms of like the official rollout is it is over the next 3 years. So this gives people time to adjust to the new change. It does, you know, it's going to help people to, I guess, understand what this new name actually means. We can talk about branding. We can look, there's so many different things that can happen over the next 3 years.
That's right. And the other thing that is going to happen inevitably over the next 3 years is the community is going to change their perspective. You know, as a whole, we're all going, it's going to shift in some way. And I think we can also, like, I'm keen to also just follow the community with it as well. It's like if everyone starts saying PMOS and PCOS is like, okay, let's go.
Great. Like, and I think the other thing is it will probably often be referred to as both. I think so. People will say, oh, you know, PCOS, PMOS, you know, that's what's going to happen. It's just going to be interchangeable for quite a while. Yeah. And that's okay too, because at least now we know that it's being looked at differently. And that's all we need to know. You know, it doesn't actually matter what the name is called so long as it's getting looked at the way it should be getting looked at realistically. Yeah. That's how I feel about it anyway.
I agree. And ultimately, I love the new name. I think they did really well. I think it would have been so hard.
Like, oh my God, can you imagine?
Oh my God. Like because you can't please everyone and you really can't catch everything about a condition in a name.
Nutshell, exactly.
I just think they've done really well. I think they've covered so much more ground with I feel represented by the new name. Totally. And what I really like about the new name is that it in itself is a prompt to doctors about what they're dealing with. Like, oh, this is polyendocrine. Oh, okay, so this condition is going to affect multiple hormonal systems of the body. Like, it's a reminder to them of what they're dealing with.
Yeah, it's a reminder to look at the full picture.
Name.
Exactly.
That's right. It's like, okay, I can see the word metabolic. I've got to deal with that now. Like, it's a real prompt. They can't hide from it. And I just think it's like, it would be hard to be a doctor to remember all of the different conditions and all the different things that you need to do. And I just love that they now have the clue right there.
I love that too. I really love that too. And, you know, on that, like, we are going to see these guidelines updated across 195 countries, which is It's massive. It's going to be what is now taught in medical schools around the world. So, over time, it is just going to slowly transition, which is very, very nice. And honestly, this just genuinely does mean we could have fewer people going underdiagnosed, and we're going to have better, my hope is better, more holistic treatment, because we're looking at it as a big picture. That is the aim of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, that was another thing I read about like treatment moving forward, is that it's very much more, I don't know if I can use the word mandated, but it's very much being taught in this educational rollout that this is a multidisciplinary sort of condition, as in GPs are really encouraged to refer you out to endocrinologists and gynecologists and psychologists, and like it's really embracing of different specialists now. So I think that's very exciting. Yes.
That's really exciting.
Yeah. Now I feel like you would feel the same way. I just wish we started to see the conversation go into it being cross-sectional too. Like, let's get it into natural medicine. Like,
I know.
When our GPs referring us to naturopaths.
I know.
Like that's the ultimate goal
I
in
think
my mind.
there's still hope that might happen though.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's inevitable eventually.
Yeah.
Does it happen in the next 3 years? I don't know. I hope so.
Yeah, we'll see. Time will tell. Watch this space, I guess.
Yes. I hope this episode was helpful for you guys. It was really helpful for me to get my head around it and help me solidify my feelings a bit more.
And I really want to know what people are feeling out there. Like, do we love the name change, or are we feeling a bit apprehensive about it? Do you guys feel comfortable using PMOS straight away, or are you still using PCOS? I really, really want to know for my own sake. I think it's really interesting because the way we talk about this as a community is going to be how it gets shaped now and how it sort of progresses. So let us know. Also, are we saying, this is what I really need to know, are we saying PMOS, or are we saying PMOS?
We need to know.
Please help us out.
Yes. All right. Thank you for listening, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.